to have more fun, let's look at the Kazon, right? Kazon are fun, right?
Sure, crazy lady.
All right, so since, you know, the Ferengi had only had one ship before that, I think the next closest one we could go with that is the Kazon, since we only have one Kazon ship as well. Just to see how these little super tiny factions are getting changed around a little bit. And this is really a completely different ship than the little tiny Kazon Raider.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me. This is a more sizable ship, and I guess just to see if this makes Kazon vaguely playable? I don't know. So, starting with the ship, its maneuver dial is this a little odd or something? No, this looks a lot like the
Keldon?
no.
I think the
Excelsior.
I think the actually I was going to say the original Enterprise, Tiny Price.
Kind of. I mean, basically, you know, 180-degree forward arc. I'm pretty sure that's been confirmed, but I don't see a captain ship, a ship chit in my picture. So,
yeah,
pretty sure it's 180-degree forward firing arc and no rear arc.
It has a rear arc.
Does it have a rear arc? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it does due to particle beam weapon, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because that says it can be forward or rear arc. So, I mean, basically, we're looking at another, you know, Excelsior or Dakir kind of ship for the cost and even the stats. So the Relora Sankur, I hope that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. I never really cared about the Kazon when I watched Voyager. It's got 4 attack, 1 agility, 5 hull, 3 shields, a good array of upgrades, 1 tech, 2 weapons, 2 crew, and is 26 points. And yeah, I mean, so far the with the upgrade bar as well, the full battle station, scan, target lock, and evade. I'm going to say this feels like the same. This pretty much is the Excelsior, and
yeah,
we do have confirmation
Excelsior
that it's a 180 front and a 90 rear.
Yeah, it's the Excelsior with a shield transferred over to weapons, which is basically a trade that. I mean, the only reason the Excelsior doesn't see more play than it already did way back in Dominion War, when it saw a lot of play, was that it only had 3 primary weapon value, and this fixes that problem. I mean, this is a solid stat line, even given its somewhat lackluster dial.
Mm-hmm. All right, so as ability, if you performed a green maneuver this round during the roll attack die step of the combat phase, roll +1 attack die. Well, this is just a redo from the Valdor. It has fewer green maneuvers, but I mean that was a pretty darn good ability in itself. 5 attack dice pretty much whenever you want it.
And this is on a 180 arc, remember, so the lack of green maneuvers matters less.
Oh yeah, even better. As a ship, man, this if we were all dissing the Kazon before, but I think this might actually be a ship that could put them on the map.
I agree. I mean, they need better upgrades. I am not impressed with any of their upgrades thus far, except maybe Seska, but which, by the way, is a huge Voyager spoiler, which I wish I knew. But I mean, aside from that, this is a solid chassis. If the Kazon can get the upgrades they need soon, and I think there might be a Kazon ship announced for next year, then I mean...
There wasn't one yet? I thought there was one. I thought they announced a Predator release.
I couldn't remember if they did or not. But because it's Kazon, and at the time I didn't give a damn. Yeah. But this may put them on the map at least as much as Vulcans. Mm-hmm. Which is hilarious because they're the other ship that got an Excelsior variant. So apparently the solution to what you need to do to be a viable secondary faction is get the Excelsior.
Get a big arc.
on a large enough ship.
Indeed. David, do you have any thoughts to add on this one?
I like it. I want more than one of these. Not for the upgrades, but to have the named version and the generic.
We'll wait until the Predator comes out next year.
Yeah.
I suppose the big question is, what upgrade slots does the generic have? Do I have it on the picture here? No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I don't have the generic. Oh, yeah, I do have it.
Oh, yeah. Tech,
Okay.
weapon, weapons, crew.
So the generic loses crew, so it keeps the tech, which is an important part. So when you take it with the along with the raider that was earlier, these things can take masking circuitry, which means they can cloak for 3 points.
Ooh, I forgot about that. Yeah, then you basically have the Valdor.
With the huge arc.
And battle stations.
I'm starting to like them. I'm starting to like them more and more.
Yeah, I would agree. And you know what else? You know what I just realized is, you know who's a rock star in that one crew slot is the other crew that Kazon has that I completely forgot about because it came out at the same time as Borg. Kazon Raiding Party.
Yeah, the one that lets you steal a tech upgrade when you do damage.
Right, and considering that you're getting, I mean, the Nistrum Raider had a base attack of something like, I don't even know how low. Yeah, it had a basic attack of 2. So at the time I was like, oh, you know, whatever. This has 5 dice on demand. I'm pretty sure you can turn that into 2 damage fairly consistently. Mm-hmm. And yes, I would like to turn that 2 damage into 1 crit that goes through shield, steal one of your tech upgrades.
That sounds pretty nice. I mean, anyone smart won't let you get like their feedback pulse, but I mean, there's enough tech upgrades. The thing I had the problem with before was that there weren't very many good targets for Kazon Raiding Party in the past. Now there's a couple more that could be useful. Just a couple of good tech upgrades, you know. High energy sensor sweep is the first thing that comes to mind. Maybe the multi-adaptive shielding.
Feedback pulse? Oh no, they've used feedback pulse if you're using Kazon Raiding Party. Multi-adaptive shielding.
Mm-hmm. That's a new one since then.
Ablative generator.
All the Vulcan techs have come out since then as well.
Yeah. Combat vessel variant.
Hey. Of course, that assumes your opponent's running it. But yeah, on the whole, the ship is pretty nice. Even the generic, and I think it puts a lot of the Raiders upgrades to good use. And it's a darn good point. It's a darn good point spread.
Yeah, you know, the more I think about it, the more happy I am with these guys, and the more, and you know, the less annoyed I am with the fact that in Voyager they're just Klingon knockoffs.
Mm-hmm. Nah, they're just carrots. Giant talking carrots.
It's funny. I'm never going to be able to unsee that now. Okay, we should probably talk about the other cards.
All right, Captain Haron. Is there another captain here? No, just one.
No.
Skill 3 costs 2 points. Add a weapon upgrade slot to your upgrade bar. Oh look, we added a slot. All your Kazon weapon upgrades cost -1 point.
Which would be great if they weren't all terrible.
Yeah. This ship is nice because it doesn't really need the weapon upgrades, so this captain probably don't really need him as much.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, in the blind buy, I mean, I guess I could see taking particle beam weapon, but photonic charges, and I assume we'll talk about these cards later, is terrible. So in the blind buy, at least, I really don't see the need for him, especially because the base ship already has 2 weapon upgrades, and you're only given 2 weapon upgrades. So yeah.
I would say maybe he could make an appearance if you wanted to put the Kazon weapons on another kind of ship, but
yeah.
Eh.
Why would you ever do that?
The Kazon joined forces with the Vulcans. Yeah, I bet you saw that alliance coming.
Stop. No, all of the Vulcan weapons are better than this, Will.
All right, so Captain, we don't really care. Hey, David?
Right. Yeah. He has no use in the blind booster because you want if you're running those weapons, you want them on the named ship, but they don't fit point wise.
Correct.
So
yeah, 26, 2 points, 4 points.
Wah, 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 wah.
I mean, he could take both weapons on the generic ship, but then you're not getting the attack die boost. So
no, that's also still too many points.
No, because he reduces the weapon cost by... Oh, sorry, you can take one of the weapons.
And have a 29-point blind ship. That's... I could see this being a regular release, but this captain does not make a very good blind captain.
No.
No.
Terrible captain.
Yeah. But
What's
since
the
he
other
has weapons, might as well take a look at the weapons that we can have, even though we're probably not going to run them with him. So we've got photonic charges.
Which is awful. Awful!
Which is a little bit more it's basically what we saw with the phased polaron beam for the Jem'Hadar battleship. It's the same thing as the photonic charges that we got from the Raider. So this gives an extra attack, but only works at range 1. And
it costs 5 extra points if you don't put it on Predator class.
4, not 5, but
whatever.
Yeah. So the most useful thing this would be on would be, you know, maybe even if you were just going with Kazon. I mean, if you could put this on a Raider, maybe it would be all right. But I mean, the +4 points makes sure that it's not going to go on anything else really, because there's so many better weapons out there.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, the auxiliary power token, if you deal at least 1 damage, is pretty nice. Again, what?
Split screen a picture of this next to Borg missile.
Borg missile is Borg only. But yes, I know Borg missile. Don't think I don't know Borg missile. Everyone knows Borg missile now.
Yeah.
Ben, I don't have a handy picture of Borg missile.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's just look. This is just lackluster. I'm sorry. The auxiliary power token thing is nice, but since it's only 1, it's easy to deal with.
Mm-hmm. And you still have to disable the card to use it, so it's not like you can do this every turn and get some bonuses on it with like target lock to make sure it actually gets that damage through.
Yeah, exactly.
The other weapon we have is Particle Beam Weapon. Disable the card to perform the attack. You may fire it from your forward or rear firing arcs. It is a 4 damage, range 1 to 2. For the Predator, it's just kind of silly. I mean, I guess if you really needed a rear attack off of it. Considering it can back up, though, I don't think that's really that necessary. Though it does have, I guess it does have problems turning around, so.
Yeah, I mean, in this blind booster with the cards we have, because spoiler alert, I really wouldn't take Tersa or Tractor Beam. I would just, for a blind booster, I'd do the unique, throw this on it, and call it a day.
Mm-hmm. All I will say a neat use for the Particle Beam weapon is this is something I could see myself throwing on the Reliant.
No, I would rather have photon torpedoes in almost every... Oh, right, because of the range 1 bonus.
The range 1 bonus. And it gives me a good use out of my rear arc for more damage than like the F's particle cannon. And it can still get some use out of the forward arc too if I needed it. But yeah, that's about the only one I think of throwing it on. David, you have anything for either of these weapons?
They would warm you for a few seconds if you lit them on fire.
Well, I did not expect that.
That's with the show, guys.
No, that's okay. I just realized you found the only thing that makes me want to add haze to a combination.
Okay.
Wait, fire makes you want to add haze to something?
Yeah, because then if I add it, it burns even longer.
Overall, though, on a serious note, photonic charges could maybe work. They're just not worth it. These weapons aren't worth it on the Predator. The particle beam weapon might be useful on the Raider, the retail Kazon ship. So,
look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would rather pay the extra 1 point, or I guess 2 for the Raider. Oh no, the particle beam doesn't require target lock, does it?
Nope.
No.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I guess I could see it for the Raider, but
especially.
I was gonna say.
No, never mind.
Then again, consider this is also the same cost as the additional weapons array from the Adramir.
that's what I was looking for. Yeah, I mean that's a prize ship card, so I'm always hesitant to recommend it, but yeah, that's strictly better.
It can't fire out your rear arc though.
Oh yeah, never mind.
So give a little, take a little.
It doesn't have a rear arc. It's the same.
Yeah.
I mean, for the cost, I think that makes this a solid enough weapon. Definitely not. Maybe I don't think this would go in my light on fire pile.
No.
All of my Vorcha and Negbar torpedoes, though, you can have those.
Oh boy.
All right,
So we should talk about the other two cards.
Indeed. We have a tractor beam, not to be confused with the Vulcan tractor beam.
Either of the Vulcan.
Either of the two Vulcan tractor beams, or the Klingon tractor beams, which no one cares about in the first place. Right? No one cared about the Klingon tractor beams, I hope.
And don't confuse it with the Borg tractor beam.
But that one actually has Borg in it.
Well, actually, but it's hilarious because the Borg tractor beam is actually the closest in function to this one.
Which is pretty neat. So, 2-point tech upgrade, so nice and cheap. During the activation phase, when a ship within range 1 of your ship reveals a maneuver of 3 or higher, so not only enemy, but you can also use this on friendly as well. Before that ship moves, you may discard this card to subtract 2 from that maneuver's number. No ship may be equipped with more than 1 of this upgrade. So this can be used with other tractor beams, just not other of this particular Kazon tractor beam. Not that I think you would put them together, but hey, some people have strange tastes.
I guess you could run a bunch of Nistrum Raiders with tractor beams. I don't know why you'd ever do that, but no, Nistrum Raider doesn't even have a tech slot. The unique one does, but the generic doesn't. Never mind.
Downside, of course, is you have to discard it. Upside it is restricted when they do a 3 or higher. So this means they're trying to get around you or get by you. I mean, I think this is silly, but you could use it against like a cube that's trying to do a 3 and get behind you.
You could also you could have hilarious results if you were facing a fleet of Klingons that were trying to go by you with a 3 come about, because then they do a 1 come about, which would not work very well for them at all. So let me put it this way. This is a card that when it works is just going to be hilarious. Not even just good, just funny. The problem is I just don't see it, because you have to be within range 1, I don't see it happening very often.
Yeah, that's a problem. The question is, can you...
for you using it on yourself, on a different one of your ships, to maybe do that 1 come about instead of a 3 come about. So I see this card more as something, because it says when a ship, not when an enemy ship. I think the uses become for you, not for your opponent. Plus, it's during the activation phase. And so you can evaluate the board and, say you've got Picard on something, or any high skill captain. Maybe doing a 3 bank causes you to bump, but maybe a 1 bank doesn't.
Actually, you know what this will allow you to do? This could turn a 3 turn into a 1 turn.
He said turn. This is why I like this guy.
What?
I'm sitting here like, I hope you say turn. You better say turn.
Yeah, no, this is, and the thing is, a 1 turn is a super useful for maneuver that most ships don't even have.
Especially for the lesser maneuver ones like the Galaxy class or the Jem'Hadar battleship.
Yeah, I mean, there's just nutty stuff that you can do with this.
Voyager.
Yeah.
Thing is, Voyager can finally do a 1 straight.
Shut up.
The other thing I was going to say about this is, can you For the way I'm reading it, you can activate more than one at the same time if you had two separate ships both in range of the same ship.
So they do a -1?
A -1 come about. Okay, maybe not -1, but a 0? Can we do a 0? Does a 0 exist?
I don't know. That's a really good question.
But you do it anyways.
You know, Will, I think that's a great question for the FAQ.
Oh, you had to go there.
Oh, I'm such a
Barring
cat.
that, I mean, it's right. You subtract 2 from the ship's... Oh, no. It's the ship's maneuver number. So I don't think that 2 would work together.
No, you don't. You don't think you could apply the first one to make it a 1 maneuver and then subtract it again?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Because...
But then that leaves me to the question of what happens if Voyager tries to do a 3 straight and you tractor beam it, and Voyager ends up trying to perform a maneuver that it doesn't have.
And the other thing is, if someone reveals, say, a 4 straight and tries to turn it into a 6 straight with transwarp, do you tractor beam them and make them do a 2, or do you tractor beam them and make them do a 4?
Let me look up the text.
Or does it not work at all and they still do a 6?
I'm gonna look up transwarp drive. Hold on.
Transwarp drive says if your maneuver dial reveals a straight 4 or straight 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I think you could still do a 6 because you revealed a 4.
And the tractor beam just would not have any effect on it because you're not doing the revealed maneuver anymore.
Exactly.
No, because it's before that ship moves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that ship would have to choose to move with a 6, and then you would discard it. So I think you'd end up with a 4 straight.
You know what?
I don't know.
FAQ.
No.
Let's just move on before we get more depressed. But in other words, tractor beam has some neat applications. I like it as for what it does. I don't like it because I'm going to have to ask people what it does.
Fortunately, if you're only using it as a blind ship, you're not going to have to worry about multiples. You have to worry about transwarp though.
But I really want to do a -1 come about.
Oh hush.
So you'd go backwards and then turn around?
You could do it. It's like a fishtailing thing, isn't it? I'm sure Dukes of Hazzard did it more than once.
Hey, look, there's a crew card we haven't talked about yet.
Tersa! Action! 2 points. Kazon crew. If your ship is not cloaked, disable all of your remaining shields and target a ship at range 1 to 2 that is not cloaked and has no active shields. Discard Tersa and 1 crew upgrade of your choice on the target ship. Place a scan token beside your ship. It is a crew ganker that gives you a scan token.
Still not a fan.
Lame.
Didn't we get this in the Ferengi Creighton?
Sort of. He says
sure
his is actually better. His says if you've done a scan action this turn, you can use his as a free action. Or actually, you don't even have to have done the action. If you just have the token next to your ship, you can do the crew ganking as a free action. He costs 1 point more, but he's still infinitely better.
I feel like it's the exact same thing.
It's not because, for example, if you get a free action scan from a flagship, you can use...
you can use him with it, and Tersa, you'd still have to use his own action.
Right. I mean, and you get an extra scan token, I guess, because it's not a scan action, it's just a token, but, like... There is just no... Look, there is no circumstance where I want to use this card, okay?
Yeah. Poor Tersa. That's okay. The rest of your pack is wonderful, so we'll go with that, and you can join the fire pile over in the corner.
Yeah, wonderful is exactly the card. You know what? I can't even sarcasm anymore. We're done. We're done here. Look, this pack would be worth getting for the ship by itself. I mean, the Kazon are apparently going to be a solid faction now. So, all right. You know,
I would agree with that.
load up. Yeah, I'll just load up the Kazon ship with all of the upgrades from the Nistrum Raider and throw the Nistrum Raider and the rest of these upgrades in a pile somewhere and not care.
As for building this, first instinct for me says take the name version, take tractor beam, and then I guess I'd rather have Heron than Tursa.
That would give you 29 points.
No,
that's 30. He doesn't have a weapon.
Heron only reduces
right.
weapons.
Yeah, that's true. I would rather just take the named and the particle beam.
I'm thinking named, Tursa, and tractor beam.
Well, at least it shows we have different opinions.
Yeah. I just want to. It might just be that I just want to play with tractor beam.
Well, for me, it's just I like the idea of a 5-die 360. Because since the Relora Sankur doesn't require an action to use its ability, I can just spend my action every turn to re-enable particle beam if necessary. So,
and I'll probably you might get the if you're using the flagship that grants an extra action, you could get the battle stations on it as well, even.
Yeah, or a target lock or something. Yeah.
I could go with that. I guess it depends on if I think there's going to be 20,000 Borg at the event and nothing else.
Well, gee, Will, why would you ever think that?
Why would I think that?